discovering a Peeping Tom in my apartment building. I remember the day I moved into my new apartment. The anticipation was high. I believed this fresh start in a big building with clean, sterile hallways and well-manicured lawns would bring me peace. Maybe I'd even make new friends. The quietness was comforting. But friendship never came. I kept to myself, spending most of my time at my desk, trying to make ends meet with barely paying freelance gigs. Initially, the thick walls felt insulating, like a protective cocoon. But now, those walls seem alive. Everything was fine at first. I cherished the solitude. I'd sit in my cramped room, with my desk against the window overlooking the alley, and write. The city sounds filtered in, the hum of traffic, distant sirens, and occasional arguments from neighboring apartments. And here, I felt safe, until I found a hole. I discovered it one night while rearranging the furniture. The old heavy fridge scraped across the floor with an unbearable screech, revealing a small dark space behind it. It was oddly perfect, just big enough for a person to squeeze through, almost as if it had been waiting for me. I initially ignored it, pushing the fridge back and telling myself it didn't matter. Just an old building with forgotten nooks and crannies. But that hole lingered in my mind. Days passed, and it gnawed at my brain. What was inside? Where did it lead? Curiosity finally got the best of me. One night, I moved the fridge and crawled inside, feeling the cool, stale air wrap around me. The narrow passage soon opened into a hidden hallway. The damp walls smelled of mildew. Trash littered the floor, discarded clothes, candy wrappers, and who knows what else. I should have turned back, but something about that hallway drew me in, like it was meant for me. The first time I crawled through the hole, I realized how narrow it was. The air was thick and humid. I could barely breathe as I shimmied forward, feeling the wet, clammy walls brush against my skin. It felt alive. Despite my fear, I couldn't stop. I kept moving, compelled, until I reached a peephole. Through the peephole, I saw a young couple laughing on their couch, unaware of the world outside. I watched them for a long time, my breath shallow. They couldn't see me, but for a moment, I thought the man looked directly at me. His eyes seemed to lock onto mine. I scrambled back, hands shaking, but the compulsion remained. I moved forward, peeking into the next apartment. Each scene was worse than the last. In one room, friends played video games with loud, mocking laughter. Their obliviousness made me feel like a shadow, a ghost in their world. In the next room, an old woman knitted in the dim light. She looked just like my grandmother, but when she turned, her sunken eyes and loose skin made her look already dead. I gasped for air, but the walls seemed to close in around me. Follow for part 2.